People often observe that a group can become more than the sum of its individual members. It can turn into something like an organism, whose behavior differs radically from the behavior of the individuals inside it. This happens through new norms, pressure to conform, diffusion of responsibility, and the gradual loss of individuality. What you are about to hear is a condensed retelling of the events described in the book, The Third Wave. A classroom experiment meant to explain Nazi Germany suddenly turned into something disturbingly real. It began in 1967 at Cubberley High School in California. I was teaching world history. We were studying Nazi Germany when a student asked a simple question. How could ordinary Germans, teachers, railway workers, neighbors, claim they knew nothing about the concentration camps? I didn't have a good answer. So I decided to run an experiment. 1 week. To let students experience how something like that could happen. Day 1. Strength through discipline. On Monday, I started with a lecture about discipline. Athletes, ballerinas, scientists, people who push themselves beyond their limits. Then I ordered the class to change how they sit. Feet flat on the floor, back straight, hands behind their backs, chin slightly down. We practiced again and again. Within 15 seconds, the entire class had to enter silently and take position. Students could speak only while standing. Every answer had to begin with Mr. Jones. Responses had to be short and clear. By the end of the lesson, everyone was engaged. The atmosphere changed. They became focused, organized, disciplined, and I started to like it. Day 2. Strength through community. On Tuesday, I walked into the classroom. Everyone was already sitting silently in perfect posture. On the board, I wrote 2 lines. Strength through discipline. Strength through community. I explained that people become stronger when they belong to something bigger than themselves. Then, we began chanting. Strength through discipline. Strength through community. First in pairs, then in small groups. Then the whole class together. At the end of the lesson, I introduced a greeting. The third wave salute. I raised my arm. The whole class responded. Soon, students were saluting each other in hallways, in the cafeteria, and in the library. Day 3. Strength through action. By Wednesday, the class had grown to 43 students. Others were joining from different classes. I issued membership cards. 3 students received red crosses on their cards. They were secretly assigned to report rule breakers. Everyone received a task. Some designed banners. Some guarded the classroom. Some taught younger students proper posture. Some memorized names and addresses of participants. Students began reporting each other voluntarily. Those who didn't salute. Those who criticized the movement. By the end of the day, more than 200 students were involved. One quiet boy named Robert even became my bodyguard. For the first time in his life, he felt important. Day 4. Strength through pride. By Thursday, I was exhausted, and I was starting to feel afraid. The experiment had gone too far. Teachers were asking questions. The principal was concerned. One parent even broke into the classroom at night and vandalized it. I decided to end everything, but I wanted to end it dramatically. In class, I announced that the third wave was part of a national youth movement. The next day at noon, a presidential candidate would appear on television and officially announce it. Our class had been chosen as regional representatives. Everyone had to wear white shirts. Everyone had to demonstrate perfect discipline. The students were electrified. No one doubted it. Day 5. The Revelation. On Friday, more than 200 students gathered in a small auditorium. Banners, silence, tension. I set up a television. At noon, I turned it on. Only static. White noise filled the screen. No president, no announcement, nothing. After a few minutes, I turned off the television, and I spoke. There is no movement. There is no leader. For 5 days, you lived through Nazi Germany. You gave up freedom for belonging. You reported each other. You rejected those who disagreed. Fascism is not somewhere far away. It is inside all of us. Give it discipline, community, action, and pride. And it awakens. Then I showed them a film. Marches, torches, crowds, concentration camps, smoke rising into the sky. When the lights came back on, the room was silent. Many students were crying. Robert was sobbing. People slowly walked out, hugging each other. In the 4 years I worked at that school, no one ever publicly admitted they were present at that final gathering. An experiment meant to last 1 week had almost become reality in just 5 days. Thank you for listening. If you think this was interesting, hit like and subscribe.